Hi folks, it's been a couple of weeks now since my digital dynamic channel has been demonetized because I created the great evil of somehow pissing off Leo Laporte's TWIT. But let's take a minute here to talk about hypocrisy, specifically the hypocrisy that comes of course from TWIT, and we have a beautiful example this week, actually right today, September 7th, and also YouTube's hypocrisy. Now, today, TWIT had a live special. I mean, it was such a big event for Leo and friends that they actually moved MacBreak Weekly from Tuesday and actually moved around their schedule so that Windows Weekly was yesterday instead of today and all that good stuff. But, you know, I made a promise in my last video that I was going to be watching. And I intend to keep that promise. And here's the delivery, folks. I'm going to read you something. What I'm going to read you is from Apple's website. It's their terms of use. Now, when they broadcast their big events on the internet, they're very specific about controlling the message, about controlling where it can be seen, when it can be seen, that kind of thing. They're under a very specific copyright, and it's not Creative Commons. It's a standard old copyright. You put up a video of an Apple event on your YouTube channel, expect it to be yanked down, just like Leo would do. But let me read you something here. Let me read you one part of content. This is the content section of the Apple Terms of Use. And I quote, "Except as expressly provided in these terms of use, no part of the site and no content may be copied, reproduced, republished, uploaded, posted, publicly displayed, encoded, translated, transmitted, or distributed in any way, including mirroring, to any other computer, server, website, or other medium for publication or distribution or for any commercial enterprise without Apple's express prior written consent." Unless Leo Laporte has gotten prior written consent, which I doubt because they still hate him, I don't think that the presence of Andy Ihnatko and Megan Maroney constitutes express written prior consent. Yet today, they did their TWIT Live special, and you know what they basically did? They basically violated all of Apple's copyrights in one hand, and in the other hand, they basically made a YouTube reaction video. There's the dummy sitting there, blah, 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 Mac, blah, 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 Apple. There's Megan Maroney looking on going, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And there's poor Andy Ihnatko, which, you know what, I love Andy. I think Andy's a great guy. I don't know why he's mixed up with this place, but okay. But there they all are, blah, 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 this, that. There they are, and there's either they do a full screen or it's in the corner, but there they are talking about the Apple event while Tim Cook is up there going, blah, 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 Apple iPhone 7, blah, 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 we're wonderful, blah, blah, blah. Interface, who cares? I don't care about Apple. What I care about is the utter hypocrisy. I got a video yanked down for complying with the Creative Commons license, which at last check, which was like today, is still in effect for all TWIT content. Yet they turn around and do this. They do a live special, they modify the content, they're reproducing it, they're redistributing it, and oh, by the way, at the end of it all, Leo reads ads for Braintree of all blessed things. Are you kidding me? Is anything more hypocritical? Really? This is your standard? All right. Fine. So we know there's a double standard. This isn't the first time, you know. So we know that, and we also know that all those takedowns that happened last week or a week ago, or who cares? They've been happening. We know they're punitive actions. They're going after people. So now we have the proof right here, because I guess what's good enough for the goose is not good enough for the gander, because it's the goose is going to do what the hell they want and fuck everybody else. Selective enforcement would be a good word for it. This is why if we had the means and we had the balls, we could go after people like this and challenge these people and stop this kind of thing from happening. But it's not going to happen because we're all poor f***ing schmucks. Okay? That's the thing. And by the way, let's go to the next step here. Let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about YouTube allowing this process to be abused, about having no standards and nothing set in place. It is so easy for a so-called content owner to rip apart somebody else's channel who's operating fully within the law, fully within copyright. It is so easy for them to do that. But it's so hard to fight back against it. In fact, YouTube actively works against it. They don't want that hassle. They don't want that tussle. They're trying to protect what's called their safe harbor provision, which means, oh, we don't get sued. It ain't our fault. So what that means is basically you're on your own out there, guys. And I've seen this before. It happens with the copyright strike system. It happens with the content ID system. It happens with the community guidelines system. Community guidelines. This is why a lot of people on YouTube are crying. They're talking about the YouTube is over, blah, 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 pound sign, whatever. Who cares? Well, it's always been over. Understand this. Okay, here, let me play devil's advocate for a minute here. All right. YouTube is a business. YouTube is not the government. YouTube is not a public park. YouTube is a business. They have a right to control the content on their site as a business. It is not free expression. The First Amendment is as they see it. I don't care if it's on the internet. They're a business ultimately owned by Google. This is how it's going to happen. So if they put up a bunch of draconian rules, if you want to use them, too bad. Nothing to cry about. They're going to pull your down because they're protecting their revenue stream. They can't sell ads on a video with a bunch of people cussing and showing, body parts. They can't do it unless they start running ads for prophylactics. It's just not going to happen. Okay? And I haven't seen a prophylactic ad. I've seen some political ads that might as well have been prophylactic ads, but it doesn't matter. Okay? You don't have any more rights than YouTube is going to allow, and YouTube is not going to put itself in jeopardy. So get over it, folks. Okay? You have no standing because you have to play in their sandbox. If you want to go to another sandbox, you're free to. I'm not happy about it. This is not the way I want YouTube to be, but this is the way YouTube is. I get that because I'm a grown-up. Okay? So quit your... Either make content that conforms if you want to stay on their site, or don't. And and I've seen some stuff on YouTube that I can't believe is still on there, but I got a feeling, at the least, it's going to be demonetized. It doesn't matter what their criteria is. It doesn't matter about any of your causes or crusades. It doesn't matter. Just because you want something to be a certain way doesn't mean you get to change the rules when somebody else owns the sandbox. They are a business. I'm not defending it. I just understand it. And YouTube and Google especially is not going to spend years in court fighting your copyright battles, and especially because they lose even more ad revenue. Remember, Google is not in the search business. Google, who owns YouTube, by the way, is in the ad business. Period. They're in the ad business. And if they can't sell ads, they can't make money. And if they do, if they feel like anything threatens that revenue stream, they're going to yank it. Which means they don't want anything that's controversial, sexual, vulgar, none of this crap. And it's vague, and they say, well, why is it so vague? It's vague because that gives them legal leeway. It's purposely vague. Because if they had to sit there and enumerate every possible condition that could be a violation of something, you'd have a terms of use statement that was 3,000 pages long and would still miss something. This is how contract law works. And if you agree to a contract like this, sorry, you're stuck with it. All you can do is everybody can leave YouTube and go somewhere else. However, unless you've got a Patreon account or unless you've got 1,000 subs on Twitch to watch your gaming videos or that, you're not going to make any money. Right now, the only way to easily make money and have crappy videos shown to 1,000 people a day is to go to YouTube. And if you want to do that, you got to play by their rules. And it's those rules, this is an outgrowth of what lets the hypocrisy of places like TWIT and Apple and all these people who put this stuff up and go after you, or EA or that, who go after you for sounds, that you may have on a video, and you get the sounds, and it's all of a sudden, oh, well, we're not going to take it down, but what we're going to do is content ID strike, and after that, oh, your video will stay up, but all the monetization's going to go to the guy who made the claim. and you lose everything. So if you make $1,000 off a video, guess what? You don't make $1,000. The guy who wrote the sound effect in 30 seconds of your video is going to make $1,000. See, but that's because that's the YouTube rules, because they bend over backwards to kiss. They don't want to be in court with anybody. And that also makes it advertiser friendly, because then they can say, hey, we'll run an ad for whoever this artist is that we heard 30 seconds of song from, and we'll make money off that. It's all about the money. And this is what's going to happen. So you get this hypocrisy. It's institutionalized. Just, I want to say just accept it, but even for me it's hard. But I know this is the way it is. I've had it happen. In fact, if I get a video that gets a content ID strike, I might try to fight it. But if I lose it, I'm pulling that video down myself. I've done it. I've got at least a couple of dozen videos sitting in my archive that used to be on YouTube that I pulled down expressly for that reason. And it wasn't fair. It's not fair that if I happen to have something that shows up in my video that I did not purposely put there, say it's game video, gameplay, let's play, okay, I get my video dinged, and I make no money off it. Never mind that there could be a 30-minute video and there's only 30 seconds. Somebody is taking all of what I did, of the trouble I went through, of the fact that, yeah, it's somebody else's game, but I'm not getting dinged on that. The experience I'm having is unique to me. I'm making this happen. I'm going through the FPS battles. I'm racing on the virtual racetracks. I'm the hero in the RPG doing the thing. This is a unique experience. It doesn't matter. That's like telling me I can't take a video of somebody driving a Mustang Cobra down the street doing donuts because, well, we might get a view of the Best Buy in the background, and oh yeah, somebody may be wearing a logo hat of somebody's, and suddenly they grab your content and start monetizing it, rip it away from you because of the logo hat or the Best Buy in the background. This is how it works. These are the rules. So it's utter hypocrisy. And when you have an organization like TWIT that is actively abusing these content mechanisms, we're not protecting anything. And then they turn around. There's going to be a TWIT Live special on their YouTube channel somewhere. I'm sure of it. Not that it even needs to be able to be there. They're violating content ID and copyright. And if YouTube does not take it down, then there is a double standard. Because that content is no different and no different way of thinking than what I had on my channel, which followed a Creative Commons license. It is utter hypocrisy. And I'm not going to, and you know what? I'm going to call it out. I'm calling it out. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending a little time with me. We'll talk at you.